The variables which is declared inside the class is known as what? Data members. If I am using inline function in my program, then it must start with the keyword inline. So whatever the function is comprises of, everything will be packed into a single line of code. When I am defining that friend function, at that time the function should not be preceded by a keyword called friend. Hello everyone, welcome to the next session of your function overloading chapter. Myself Rohini TS, lecturer in computer science, Vidyashram Pre-University College, Mysuru. In previous session, we had a discussion regarding what do you mean by function overloading and what are all the need of using function overloading. In order to use that function overloading, what are the restrictions that that it includes. After that, we had a discussion regarding how to overload a function or how the function overloading will takes place with a simple program. In this session, I will be discussing second two important topic of this chapter, that is inline function and friend function. Anyway, you are going to get one 5 marks question from this chapter. So for that, you have to concentrate only on three things. That is, what do you mean by function overloading? What are the needs and its declaration and definition? After that, you have to concentrate on what do you mean by inline function and then what is friend function along with the syntax and example. Okay, so these three are the very important topic from the chapter function overloading. If you got all these topics, then you are surely going to get 5 marks from this chapter. Okay, in this chapter, I will be discussing regarding inline function as well as the friend function. We'll see what do you mean by inline function now. Inline function is nothing but first you have to recall what do you mean by data members and a member function. What is data member here? The variables which is declared inside the class is known as what? Data members. Then what do you mean by member function? So member functions are nothing but what? Functions or a behavior which is declared inside the class is known as what? Member function. Okay, so inline function is nothing but a function which is declared inside the class is known as what? Inline function. So we'll see what do you mean by inline function and how to declare and how to use this inline function, and it includes any advantages or what are the restrictions along with the program. Okay, now we'll see what do you mean by inline function. Inline function is a special type of function whose body is inserted where it is called. I think you are not getting. Yes, I am going to describe this in a program, then you are going to understand how to use this inline function. Okay, so before that you must know what is function body and how the function will be called. Okay, so here we'll see now an inline function is a special type of function whose body is inserted at the place where it is called. If I am having one function in the sense, then there must be declaration and definition. Okay, as I discussed in the previous session, you must know how to declare and how to define the functions. Okay, so if I am defining something in the sense, then there must be a body of a function, right? So in order to use that function content, I need to call that function. With the help of what? Object name and dot operator, I am going to call the name of a function. Right? So in this using of this inline function, I am going to replace the function call with a function body. Instead of calling that function, I am going to include the data or the body of a function in that calling function itself. That is nothing but what? Inline function. Okay. So which keyword I am going to use when I am using this inline function? The keyword is inline. Okay, here you have to remember one thing, when you are using any of the keyword that has a predefined meaning to the compiler. Okay, all the letters of the keyword must be in the lower case. In this case, for inline function, I will be using inline keyword in order to define the inline function. When I am using this inline function, I am going to use a complete body of a function at the place where it is called. Okay, so now we'll see some of the rules which I need to be followed when I am using inline function. Okay, so here the inline function starts with keyword inline. If I am using inline function in my program, then it must start with the keyword inline. Okay, you already know how to declare and define the function, but when I am using this inline function, at that time that return type must be preceded by inline keyword. Okay, otherwise everything will be normal regarding the normal functions. The inline function should be defined before all the function that call it. For example, consider if you have a function, okay, so there will be one calling function and another one will be called function. When I am using this inline function, then that must be declared first. Okay, what I am supposed to do, that must be defined first. Defined in the sense, at that time it must be comprises of a function body. Okay, so when I am defining the inline function, it must be defined first. When after that only I can call that inline function. Okay, in order to call inline function, that must be defined first, then only I can call this inline function. So next is important point, that is the compiler replaces. What it will going to do, the compiler will going to replaces, what it will replaces, the function call statement. Function call in the sense, with the help of object I am going to call a function. So at that time it will going to fetch the details or a body of a particular function. Okay, but here by making use of this inline function, that function call statement will be replaced with function code itself. Okay, so instead of using function call, I am going to insert complete function body to the compiler. Okay, so that is what they meant in the third point, that is the compiler will going to replaces the function call statement. What it will going to replaces, it will going to replaces the function call statement with a function code. Okay, it will going to replaces with function code and then compiles the entire code. Instead of taking the function call, it will directly copy the function body to the compiler. At the time it will going to check and it will going to compiles the entire code of that inline function. Okay, so first what we need to do, we supposed to write an inline keyword before using the inline function. After that, in a second point, I must be define this inline function before I am going to call. Okay, if I want to call this inline function, that must be defined before it calls. Okay, after that it will replaces, the compiler will going to replaces that function call statement with a function body. Okay, that will be the third rule. After that we'll see what is the syntax in order to use this inline function in our program. As I told, we have to use this inline function. In order to define this inline function, it must be preceded by what? Inline keyword. Okay, otherwise we are going to use the same syntax as of the function declaration and definition. How I am supposed to do the function definition? Data type, and I need to specify the function name. Then there must be some argument list based on the requirement of a program. Otherwise we can leave the space for the argument list if that is not required in the program. Okay, so inline is a keyword that specify we are using inline function. Then I have return type. This return type is nothing but what? Data type, and I have function name. In order to identify that I am using an inline function in my program, I need to give the function name. Okay, after that I may have some argument list. So this is nothing but what? Variables which I am going to send to the function of inline. Okay, and it will comprises of several set of codes, that is nothing but function body, because I am defining here. Okay, then it will going to return the expression. Once it will going to perform its task or calculation, after that it will going to return the value or expression back to the function. Okay, and it indicates opening and closing of this inline function. Okay, everything is same as in previous functions, but here it must be preceded by inline keyword. Now we'll see one program in order to understand the concept of inline. So in this program, I'm going to find a square of a number using inline function. Okay, what I'm doing here, I'm finding a square of a number with the help of this inline concept. We'll see now. Here I am including two header files, #include iostream.h and #include conio.h. After that, what was the second rule? It must be defined before the function it will going to call. Okay, what I am supposed to do, if I want to call this inline function, then that must be defined first. Okay, that must have its own function body. Then what was the first rule? It must be preceded by what? Inline keyword. So that's what I am using here. Inline is a keyword and return type is the int. What is the function name here? Function name is square. Am I sending any parameters to this function? Yes, that is int a. What I am sending here? I am sending a parameter of type integer. The argument name is what? A. Okay, and it will come into the inline function. Then it will going to return a into a. So how I am going to find a square of a number? What do you mean by square? If it is 2 square, in the sense, how I am going to find the 2 square? 2 into 2. In the same way, I am going to get some value for this a and I am going to multiply that a value by a value. Okay, that will gives me the square of a number. In that way, I am going to create an inline function and I have a return type int, and then square is a function name here, and I am sending one argument, that is a. I am going to return a value of a into a. Okay, after that I have a main function where the actual execution of a program get started. Okay, so here I have a 2 variables, local variables, that is int x comma y. What I am doing after this? X is equal to square of 5. Important line. What I am doing here? X is equal to square of 5. This is nothing but what? I am calling a function. What is this? This is a function call and this comprises of function body or a set of function statement. This is a function call. Okay, so which function I am calling here? I am calling a square function. So what it comprises of? It has one argument, that is 5, that is a. The value of a become right now, what will be the value of a right now? That is 5. That value will be get assigned to the variable called x. Okay, so x is equal to square of 5. So here 5 is nothing but value of a. When this function is called, at that time the function control will move back to this function. After that, whatever the value that I have given in the argument list, that value will be assigned to this a and it will going to find 5 into 5. Okay, what is the value of 5 into 5? That is 25. Then x will going to hold 25. What is the x value right now? It will going to hold 25. Okay, after that I am going to display Cout square of 5. What is the value of 5 square of 5? 5 into 5, that is 25. That will be displayed by making use of this x variable. Okay, in the same way I am going to call one more, that is y is equal to square of 10. So when I am calling this function square, at that time again the control will be moved back to this square function. After that, this value will be assigned to this a. In this case, 10 into 10. Okay, what is the value of 10 into 10? That is 100. That will be stored in y function. That will be stored in y variable, that is y is equal to 100. Okay, after this, by making use of the Cout statement, it will going to display the value of square, that is Cout square of 10 is equal to y. What's there in y? 100. That will be displayed on the screen. Then I am going to use this getch. Yeah, here I am using int main so that I am taking return 0. If it is void main, then no need to return anything back to the main function. This ends the execution of a program. Okay, so this is how I am going to use inline function in my program. So instead of taking this function body, that means I am calling this function, or the compiler will going to replace this function by the function body. Okay, so with the help of inline keyword, we are going to create, or we are going to define the inline function in our program. Okay, so it's a simple program. Or else you can also write a cube of any number. So instead of taking 2 a's here, you can include a into a and make a change with a function name as a cube, and we can return the function. After that, here you can take one or more variable in order to store the cube of a given number. Okay, it's a simple program in order to understand the inline function. Now we'll see what we have next. What are the advantages of using inline function? Okay, now we got to know what do you mean by inline function and how it will be declared and how it will be defined, and a simple program. Okay, so now we'll see what are the advantages of using this inline function. What is the first line here? The inline member functions are compact function calls. What is this compact here? Whatever the function body comprises of, that everything that whatever the function is comprises of, everything will be packed into a single line of code. So what it mean here? So this x is equal to square of 5 will going to hold all the details or all the function body in a single line. So that is nothing but compact function calls. By making use of this inline function, the body of a functions or a function code, everything will be packed under a single line of code. Okay, so that is regarding the first advantage. The size of the object code is considerably reduced. So here you have to understand what do you mean by object code and what do you mean by source code. Okay, so source code is nothing but when you are writing a program, that is nothing but a source code. When you are going to write some code of program, that is nothing but what? Source program, that will be in the human understandable form, right? Already you know that computer understands only zeros and ones. If I am sending that source code directly to the computer system, will it going to accept or will it going to understand? No. At that time what? The compiler will going to convert that code into machine understandable form. That is nothing but object code. So when I am done with my program, I am going to compile. Okay, I am going to compile. At the time of the compilation, the compiler will going to bind all the data together and that will be converted into machine understandable form. So that code is nothing but object code here. The size of the object code is considerably reduced. By making use of inline function, I can replace that function call with a function body, so that function body will be directly converted to machine understandable form, so that the size of this object code will going to be reduced. Okay, that is the second point here. And the speed of execution of a program increases. So by making use of this inline function, the speed of a program increases considerably. So with the help of this inline function, I can compile and I can run the program code in a fast manner. That is, it increases or enhances the speed of execution of program, because everything will be compact in a single line. With the help of that line only, I can call all the function body. Okay, so that it will going to increases the speed of execution, and with the help of this inline function, very efficient code can be generated. What is the another advantage of using this inline function? With the help of this, I can generate very efficient code. Okay, and there is no burden on the system for function calling. If I am using a function in the sense, first what we are supposed to do, we are supposed to write a function. After that function definition, that includes the function body. After that, I need to call the function. Okay, when I am calling function, at that time the control will be moved back to the called function. Then again it will check for the line of a code, and after that, once it perform with all the calculation, then it will send the data back to the main function or a calling function. But when I am using this inline function, there is no worry about the calling function, because that function call will be replaced by function body itself, so that no need to call any of the function by making use of this inline function. That means it will going to reduce the burden on the system for the function call. What is the next advantage of using inline function? It also saves the overhead of return call from a function. Here you have to understand that if I am not calling the function, then what is the need of returning the value back to the calling function? So if I am not calling, in the sense, no need to return the value back to the calling function, so that it will going to save the overhead of a return statement, or it will going to save the overhead on the return call from a function. Okay, and the readability of a program get increases. The speed of the execution get also increases. In the same way, this readability of a program will get also be increased. Okay, so these are all the several advantages of using inline function. First, what we are going to do, inline functions are provides a compact line of code and compact function call, and the size of an object code is reduced, and it also increases the speed of execution of a program, and we can generate efficient code by making use of this inline function, and there is no burden on the system call for function calling. If I am not calling, in the sense there is no need of sending return value back to the function, so that it also saves the overhead on return call from a function, and by making use of this inline function, I can increase the readability of a program. Okay, so these are all the advantages, and it is also important for 5 marks question. What is inline function? What are the advantages? Okay, along with syntax and example, that will be important for 5 marks question. Now we'll see what are the limits or what are the disadvantages of using this inline function. Okay, so inline function may increases the size of executable file. What I am doing here, by making use of this inline function, I am not going to call a function. Instead of that function call, I am going to replace that function call with a complete function body. Okay, so that it also increases the size of a executable file. That will be one of the disadvantage. More memory is required. To call a function, we require only a single line of code. But by making use of this inline function, I am going to include what set of lines or a set of body of the function that will replaces the single code, that is replaces the function call. If I am doing that, so it will also increases the memory. That means I require more memory in order to save these inline functions. Okay, and if it's used in the header files, it will make your header file size large and may also make it unreadable, because I need to call or I need to define this inline function before it will call. Okay, so before the main function, I need to define this inline function that will be just below the header file. So if I am defining this inline function with this header file, it will make the header file size large, and it will also make it to be unreadable or unreachable. Okay, so these are the disadvantages of having or using inline function. And here you have to remember, we cannot use large program or a complex program, or we cannot use what inline function when the program is complex or when the program is too lengthy. Only short programs can be done with the help of this inline function. Okay, so there are several situations where I cannot use inline function. Okay, here is a note that you just remember when we cannot use inline function. Okay, so inline function definition is too long. When the inline function is too long or complicated, at that time I cannot use this inline function in my program. Okay, in order to depict any of the concept, we cannot use inline function when it is recursive, and inline function has looping construct. When the inline function is comprised of looping construct, at that time also we cannot use this inline function. Then inline function, when it has both switch or go to statement, that means break statement, at that time also we cannot use this inline function. Okay, so in the inline function, you just need to remember what you mean by inline function and what is the syntax. What are the rules in order to use the inline function in our program, and how it will be defined. After that, what? Simple program in order to use the inline function. Then what are the advantages of using inline function? Then what are the disadvantages of using this inline function? And the situations where I cannot use the inline function. Okay, it's all regarding inline function. Now I have one more function, that is friend function. Okay, so what is this friend function? Where did you hear this word? Just remember the access specifier. Okay, what are the access specifier? Private, public and protected. So public in the sense I can access the data members and member function of any of the class which is declared under the public. I can access even within the class, even outside the class, but I cannot access private and protected data members and member functions which comes under the scope of private or protected. Then how can I access those data in my program? So that can be done with the help of this friend function. Okay, so friend function is nothing but what? It is a non-member function that will be used to access the private and protected members of a class. Okay, so here I will show you one example. Class, I am creating a class called student. Okay, what I am creating here? I am creating a class called student, and I have several data members that includes what? Int register number. So this class student has a register number. After that I have a name of a student. Okay, so which comes under what? Private access specifier. So here I am going to close the class. What I am doing here? I am creating a class called student, and I have a data member of two data members, integer, that means a register number of a data type integer, and I have one more data member that is name of the type character. Okay, so this is declared under the scope of private access specifier. Okay, so what are the privileges in order to access this private specifier or private data members? Only the member of that class can access the details, or that can access the data member of this class, which is comes under private scope. Okay, but I have one more function, void display. What I have here? I have one more function, void display. It is not a member of this class, but it want to access the details, or it want to fetch the details of this private members of a class. At that time, I need to go with a friend function concept. Okay, when I am supposed to go with friend function of concept, when you want to access private and protected members of a class by the non-member function, at that time I need to go with friend function. Okay, so friend function is a non-member function that is used to access the data members and member function, which comes under a private and protected access mode. Okay, so we'll see now. Friend function is a non-member function. Important, it is a non-member function of a class. That means it is not belongs to a particular class. It is not a member of that class, though it has a access permission. Though it has a access permission to access the private members of a class. Even though it is not a member of a class, it has a privilege or access to private data members and members of a class. Okay, the friend function is declared with a class with a keyword friend. Okay, so friend function is also a function, but it is a non-member function of a class. So how we are going to define the member function? In the same way we are going to define this friend function, but that must be prefixed with friend keyword. Here friend is a keyword in order to use the friend function. Okay, but it should be defined outside the class like a normal function without prefix friend. If I am using this friend function in my program, it must be declared inside the class, but must be defined outside the class. Okay, just recall the member function concept. If I want to define the member function outside the class, how am I supposed to do? I need to specify the return type, then class name, scope resolution operator, and then I need to specify the function name. But when I am using this friend function, at that time I should not use a keyword friend. Okay, I should not use a keyword friend, but when I am declaring this friend function inside the class definition, it must be prefixed by friend. Okay, so we'll see the general format in order to define this friend function. Here class is a keyword and I have a class name in order to specify the name of a class. After that, opening of the flat brace indicates where the class execution gets started, and then under the public I am taking one friend function. Okay, where I am supposed to declare the friend function, it must be within the class, but definition of the friend function must be outside the class. But when I am defining that friend function, at that time the function should not be preceded by a keyword called friend. Okay, but while declaring, it must include friend keyword. Okay, here I am declaring so that friend is a keyword here. That means we are using a friend function concept. Then I have a return type. So this, otherwise it is like a normal function declaration. Okay, so return type is nothing but data type and function name. After that I have a argument list. If there are any arguments to be sent to the friend function, that must be specified in that argument list. That is a variable which I am going to send to the function. After that I am going to close the scope of a class. Okay, it is the general syntax in order to define or in order to declare the friend function in a class. So there are several properties of friend function. So we'll see what are the friend function properties. Friend function is not a member function of a class. What is this? It is a non-member function of a class, but it will going to have a full access permission to access the private and protected members of a class. Okay, what you are telling here? The friend function is not a member of a class. That is nothing but it is a non-member of a class, but it has a access privileges in order to access the private and protected members of a class. The data members which is declared under the scope of private and protected, that can be accessed with the help of this friend function. What is the second point that I have? It can be declared either public or private part of a class. Where I can declare this friend function? Anyway, it must be declared inside the class. Okay, so under the scope of it can be either in public or private part of a class. Okay, a friend function cannot be called using the object of that class. Very important. If I want to call any of the member function, I am going to use object name with dot operator, then I am going to specify the function name. But when I am using this friend function, at that time a friend function cannot be called using the object of a class, because it is also one of the non-member of that particular class. I am not supposed to use a class object in order to call this friend function. Okay, it will be invoked like any other normal function. It will be invoked like a normal function, but I am not supposed to use the particular class object in order to call this function of friend. That is, in order to access this friend function, I am not supposed to use the object of a particular class. Okay, that is another point. And it cannot access the data member variables directly. Okay, so data members are the variables which is declared in a class, that is regarding data member. But by making use of this friend function, it cannot directly access this data members. If it wants to access, then it has to follow this syntax. What it must be? So we have to specify the object name dot member name. Okay, if I want to access the private data members of a class, at that time by making use of this friend function, I need to use a syntax, that is object name dot member name, because this friend function cannot access the data members of a class directly. Okay, how it supposed to access? With the help of object name dot member name. Okay, second next point is the function is declared with the keyword friend. If I am using friend function, that must be declared with friend keyword. But while defining the friend function, it should not use either keyword friend or a scope resolution operator. What it means? When I am declaring the friend function, I can have a prefix of friend. Okay, so when I am using or when I am declaring the friend function, at that time I can use the friend keyword. But when I am defining that friend function outside the class definition, at that time I should not use any friend keyword or a scope resolution operator. Already you know what is the usage of scope resolution operator. That is mainly used to define the member function outside the class. But this friend function is not a member of the particular class. It is a non-member of a class, so that I should not use any of the scope resolution operator or a keyword called friend when I am defining this friend function outside the class scope. Okay, that is the another property. So here I have one example program in order to make you understand the friend function. Okay, so before getting into this friend function, you just remember, so friend functions are a non-member function that is used to access the private and protected members of a class. For example, if I have one class, there is several data members of which comes under private and protected access specifier. If I want to access that data members which is belongs to private and protected access specifier by the non-member function or by the outside of the class, at that time I can use this friend function. Okay, in order to use this friend function, it must be declared inside the class but must be defined outside the class definition. While declaring this friend function, it can be declared either in public or private mode, okay, with the help of keyword friend. But when I am defining this friend function outside the class, at that time I am not supposed to use any of the friend keyword or a scope resolution operator. After that, you have to follow the syntax. Then I cannot directly access the members of a particular class by using this friend function. So that I need to go with a syntax, object name of that particular class, then dot operator, and which is the member name, that is which is the data member that you need to access, which is comes under private and protected access specifier. Okay, after that, yes, we had this one. Now we'll see one program in order to understand the concept of friend function. Okay, so here I am taking header file, that is iostream.h. I am creating a class called my class. What is the class name here? My class. After that, I am creating a data members A and B, which comes under private. Okay, so why we require this friend function? In order to access the private and protected members of a class. Here I am declaring two variables, that is A and B of a type integer, which comes under private access specifier. What is the next line that I have? That is public. I am giving the member function public. Anyway, you know that friend function can be declared either in the scope of private or public. So in this example, I am declaring this friend function in a public mode, and it must be declared inside the class, but the definition must be outside the class definition. Okay, so here void set val of int I comma int j. So what I am doing here, I am taking one member function, that is set val of a return type void. So these two are the arguments, that is int I and int j. These two are the argument list of the function called set val. It is a member of a particular class called my class. It is a member of a class of my class. Okay, so this is very important line in order to declare the friend function in my program within the class. Okay, what I am doing here, friend is a keyword. What is the syntax? In order to declare the friend function, we have to use the friend keyword. After that, it specifies the data type or a return type. What is the name of a friend function? That is add. What I am using here, I am using add as a friend function name. It is a non-member function. In order to access this private data members of a class, I am using friend concept. Okay, so friend is a keyword and int is a return type and add is a name of this friend function, and I have an argument, that is my class obj. So what I am doing here, I am creating an object for a class called my class, because directly I cannot access the data members of a particular class. So that if I want to access that class, I have to go with the syntax object name dot member name. If I want to access this A and B with the help of this object, I can access the data members which comes under private. Okay, that is regarding this line, and this ends the scope of a class. Where I am supposed to define the friend function, it must be outside the class definition. Okay, we'll see how to define that one. So here you have to remember one thing. I have two member function here, set val and add. Add is a friend function, that is a non-member function, but set val is a member function of a class called my class. Okay, so how to define this member function outside the class definition? This is comes under, or it is a member of a class my class, so that I have to go with the normal syntax. How I am supposed to define the member function outside the class? I must specify the return type, then class name, and after that I have a scope resolution operator in order to define the member function outside the class. Okay, so set val is a member function name here. Within that I am sending two variables as a parameter or a argument, which are those two, int I and int j. Okay, so these are the parameter which I am sending with a function set val. After that, I am assigning the value of this I to A and this j to B. Okay, assignment must be always to the left. For example, A is equal to I, in the sense I am assigning this value of I to A. I'm not assigning the value of A to I. It is A to, if it is A to I in the sense, I'm assigning the value of I to A. Okay. In the same way, I'm going to assign or copy the value of J to B. Okay. So these two are the what parameters of a member function set val, but I want to access the data members which comes under private. Which are the data members which comes under private here? A and B. So that in order to access this A and B, I am assigning or copying the value of I and J to A and B. So that what it means, A is also same as I and J is also same as B. Okay, that is regarding this function set val, and I am going to close the scope. After that, I have a friend function. How to define the friend function outside the class? There is a rules. We are not supposed to use any of the scope resolution operator, and I should not use a friend keyword. Then how to define this friend function outside the class? I'm just going to use this return type and the function name. So this is a friend function. What is the name of a friend function here? Add. After that, I am sending an argument, my class object. I am creating an object for a class called my class, and I am sending that as a parameter, and I am returning, what I am returning here, return obj.a. So obj.a, in the sense it will going to fetch the value of I and j which comes under set val. So in set val function, it has two arguments I and j. So I am assigning the value of I and j to A and B respectively. So with the help of that assignment, I can use I can access the value of this A and B, which is private members of this particular class called my class. I am not supposed to use a class object in order to access the private members. If I want to access that, I must be used with the syntax object name dot member name, so that I cannot directly use that private members of this class. So I am creating one object. With the help of this one, I am calling this data members of a class my class. So object dot a plus object dot b. Anyway, I am doing with addition function. So I am returning the value of addition of a and b to the function called add, and it ends the scope of a friend function. After that, I have a main function where the actual program gets started, and I will come to this point, that is when the execution of a program gets started here. Here my class is a name of a class, and I am creating an object of the name object. What is the object name here? Object itself. I am creating an object name as a object name. So I can call or I can access the member function with the help of dot operator. Okay, so that must be prior to object name dot set val of 34 and 56. What it means? So these two are the argument of a member function set val. What were the two arguments? I and j. So now you have to remember I is equal to, what is the I value here? 34, and what is the j value? That is 56. What I am doing? I am assigning the value 34 and 56 to I and j. What is this I and j? It is nothing but what? A and b. So that means A is equal to I is equal to 34 and b is equal to j is equal to 56. What it means? I am indirectly accessing the private members of this class called my class. Okay, this is how friend function will going to access the private members of a class. We cannot access directly with the help of friend function, but if I want to access the private member of a class, then I need to use the syntax like object name dot member data name. Okay. After that, the value will be set to 34 and 56 to I and j. That I and j is nothing but what? A and b. So the value of a will be 34 and the value of b will be 56. After that, what I have? See out sum of 34 and 56. Whatever the data that I am going to give, it will be displayed like sum of 34 and 56 is. So here I am calling a friend function. What I am calling here? I am calling a friend function add of object. So what is this object comprises of? It will come here. So this object will going to call the set val function. Okay, so in setval function, it will come here, the control will come back to the setval function. So when it will come to the definition of this setval, at that time it will going to assign that I value to A and J value to B. So that means what? I'm indirectly accessing the data members which comes under private. Okay, so once it is run with this function, it will come here and it will going to add the value of 34 and 56 and it will return the value back to the friend function. Okay, that value will be going to be displayed on the screen. Okay, so return 0, then I am going to end the main function. I hope you understood with this friend function. If I want to access the private and protected members of a class, even though I am not a member of a class, at that time I have to go with friend function. Okay, so that is regarding friend function. So in this class we had a discussion regarding inline function and friend function. Inline functions is important for 5 marks and even friend function is also important for 5 marks. Okay, if you are thoroughly get to know about what is function overloading and what are the needs and how it will be used in a program, then what is the complete concept regarding inline function as well as the friend function. So only these 3 topics are very, very important. So this ends your chapter called function overloading. Now we'll see what are the important questions or most frequently asked questions from this chapter. So you are going to get 5 marks question from this chapter. Only one question from this chapter, that is question number 32 will be in your will be from this chapter itself. So here we have only 3 concepts: friend function, inline function and function overloading. So that do not skip any of the concept. You have to be prepared with all the 3 concepts. Okay, all the 3 are asked in the different way. So here you can take the screenshot of this important question and these are the very, very frequently asked question for your examination. Okay, if students, it's all about today's session, that is function overloading. In this you have to concentrate only on the 3 topics: function overloading, inline function and then friend function. If you learn all these 3 concepts, then 5 marks will be in your pocket. I am going to meet you in the next interesting session of the next chapter. Until that, keep learning, keep on growing. See you again. Thank you.